What are the best units for Black Templars? We're going to chat all about that today, as well as some of their new relics and stratagems and how they absolutely hate Psychers. I'm James.
And I'm Ben.
Black Templars.
Yes.
Are you surprised they've had this amount of models and a new book and a limited edition box? What do you make of that, Ben?
It's only like, how many? 6 units? Primaris.
Yeah, but they've had 3 characters. They've had a Crusader Squad.
Yes.
They've had an upgrade sprue. The Primaris captain is called a marshal. And then for the lieutenant, you have the Castellan.
Oh, is that where, like, some people like, whoa, it's not Primaris either.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. It's so good.
And
not
then Games
Primaris.
Workshop
And then it's,
on Facebook were like, yeah, it's Primaris.
You could just
And then like everyone
rage.
freaked out and someone put like, oh, is it a Primaris? And then the next comment that GW did about it was like,
Yes.
it can be whatever you want it to be. Just buy the model, please. If you wanted to do Primaris, I think this has an argument to be the most unique chapter now for Primaris. You can do some really cool stuff, and it's not a broken supplement, but I'm really excited about it, actually.
Do they have their own doctrine?
No.
Right. And that's replaced with these new vows, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really cool, you know, and Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, they all have like a variation on the doctrine.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
The Ultramarines have and Imperial Fists, and, you know, suddenly now it's like Black Templars are furthest away from the Codex. But these vows feel a bit like tides. The only difference is you can't change them in the game.
Okay.
Like you can do tides.
Well, the tides you can change, but you have to have a psyker to do it.
Yeah.
He just snaps his fingers.
But yeah, so vows, you get 4 of them. At the end of the read mission briefing, you can select one of the Templar Vows.
Oh, okay.
Until the end of the battle, all units from your army with the Templar Vows ability gain the effects of the selected vow. If your army is Black Templars keyword, then every unit that has the Combat Doctrine ability in Codex Space Marines and is in a Black Templars detachment gains the Templar Vows
Oh, right,
ability.
okay. So everything in the Space Marine Codex will get that.
Yeah. Each passion is a drawback that affects the Black Templars, and each vow provides a series of abilities as well as a passion. You get the ability from the vow,
And a downside.
but you get a downside. And I actually think that's cool because the vows are actually really good.
Some of the bastions, from what you told me, aren't that bad.
Yeah. Suffer not the unclean to live. This is essentially what their old doctrine buff was.
Okay.
So that used to be on a unmodified hit roll of a 6, you automatically wound. And it's still the same. It's on a non-vehicle unit. And when a unit makes a melee attack, if it unmodified hit roll of a 6 automatically wounds the target. Their drawback is that when they're selected to charge, they have to charge at the closest unit within 12. And not within engagement range of any other Black Templar units from your army must be declared as a target of that charge. Uphold the Honor of the Emperor. You gain a 5+ invulnerable save for a unit. Any models in this unit have a 5+ invulnerable.
That's okay.
Each time attack is made against this unit, unmodified wound rolls of 1 to 2 for that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or the model making the attack may have.
I suppose that's like good against knights, maybe. A knight army.
I think that's probably maybe the best one because
I don't know. Like you'd have to fight an abundance of AP -3.
well, not just that. Like you've got models there that all have a 5+ invulnerable, right? Their chap's tactic for Black Templars is that you reroll charge rolls and you get a 5+ against mortal wounds.
Yeah, 5+ feel like pain.
So you'd have a 5+ invulnerable and a 5+ against mortal wounds.
But like,
I think that's pretty good.
you'd have to fight against stuff with high AP.
Yeah.
Like -1, it's useless against. -2, I wouldn't use it against Death Guard because they have lots of AP -1 and 2s.
Okay, the drawback is that each time an enemy model makes an attack, the unit does not receive the benefit of cover against that attack. So you lose your cover saves if you're in cover.
Yeah, but you still get like your other cover stuff though.
Okay, aboard the witch, destroy the witch. Once per battle in your first movement phase, if there are enemy Psyker units in your opponent's army. Till the end of the phase, you add 3 to the move characteristic of the models in that unit. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack against a Psyker unit, reroll a wound roll of 1.
Yeah, that's good against Vows and Sons.
Yeah. Your passion is while an enemy Psyker is within 18 of this unit cannot perform any actions.
Oh, I get it. Right. Easy counter to that. Just don't take stuff that requires actions.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing Thousand Sons, I think you probably will take that just for the re-roll a wound. I like this one. Accept any challenge, no matter the odds. This would be great against Horde or Knights.
Oh, yeah.
While the unit is within engagement range of any enemy units, if a combat doctrine is active, this unit gains the bonus of the assault doctrine instead of the combat doctrine that is active. Each time this unit fights until a fight is resolved, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of models in that unit. This is not cumulative with the additional attack granted by the Shock Assault ability. Passion is that the unit cannot fall back. So you're getting Shock Assault all the time, and you're always in the Assault Doctrine when you're in combat. That is really cool.
If you really like, you're going to be grinding fights and stuff.
Mate, if you've got a lot of models coming at you,
like just like chaff coming at you guys.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know they're not going to die to the chaff, but they're going to struggle killing all the chaff.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's cool is that before the battle starts, you pick one of these.
Yeah.
And if you're coming against another Marine army like Death Guard, I'd potentially go for Suffer Not the Unclean or Uphold the Honour of the Emperor. If you're going up against a Psyker army, I'd do the Destroy the Witch.
Yeah, that extra 3-inch movement. Is it 3-inch movement?
Yeah.
No, it's just invaluable. It's just really good.
Accept any challenge. I feel like that's like, if you're coming up against a lot of models.
Yeah.
You'd want to use that, especially against like orcs.
Yeah.
I think the Suffer Not the Unclean is cool, but I think against always being in Assault Doctrine when you're in combat and
you've survived it.
Getting that added 1 if you're locked in combat.
Yeah, that can help. Stratagems. Ooh.
So,
which ones do you like? Because
I like them all.
You've told them me, but
I want to talk about stratagems, but there's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about first. I think the coolest thing in this book is actually the relics.
All right, let's talk about relics then.
Because honestly, I think maybe up with Thousand Sons, this is one of the best books for relics that I've seen. Like, you can literally kit out any character you want to be good in combat or a good support character. You've got simple things like the Crusader helm, which adds 3 inches to the bearer's aura abilities, and any core unit within 9 until the start of the next command phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, the Assault Doctrine is considered to be active for that attack instead of the currently active doctrine.
So if you can combat the first 2 turns.
Yeah, I like that. Ancient Breviary, Chaplain only. Each time a roll is made to determine if a litany recited by the bearer is inspiring, roll 1 additional d6 and discard the lowest result.
That's all right.
That's really good. And I'll tell you what makes that even better is if you put that on a chaplain and use the stratagem, Bombastic Delivery, which is 2 command points. Use this stratagem in your command phase. When you select a Black Templar's chaplain unit to recite a litany, 1 litany that the unit recites this phase is automatically inspiring. So you do not roll. And that unit can recite 1 additional litany during this phase. If you take a Master of Sanctity, right?
Yeah, but that would mean you won't take thingy then, Grimaldus, if you do that. Because I think Grimaldus is Master. But anyway, shut up, Ben.
So say you take that.
Yep.
Yeah. You'd know 2 litanies from that. Yeah, rather than 1. So the first one you cast, you would cast that automatically. And then the second and the third, because this stratagem allows you to cast an additional litany.
Yeah.
You'd have 2 dice to roll for it.
Okay.
So I just think you've got a chaplain there that's just always going to score, really. I mean, 2 dice, it's quite hard not to roll.
You can also give it a warlord trait from the Space Marine book, and it adds 1 to its roll.
There you go. So it's hitting on 2.
And when it's time this warlord is selected to use the commanding oratory stratagem, that stratagem costs 1 less command point.
Oh, that's the stratagem for in there. What is that? Like it's on that page, isn't it?
Yeah. I know everyone came here for the Black Templar book, but we're just combining.
No, but I think with the supplements now, they're designed to go hand in hand with Codex Space Marines. Tannhauser Bones. Each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, the damage characteristic of that attack is changed to 1.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, like, if you just get it on your Gravis Captain.
Yeah. Perdition's Edge. Power Axe or Mastercrafted Power Axe. +3 strength. AP -2. 2 damage.
2 damage.
Each time an attack is made, an unmodified wound roll of a 6 inflicts 2 mortal wounds on the target, and the attack sequence ends.
Oh, okay, so it auto does 2 more wounds.
That's a bit like the axes that World Eaters get.
Yeah, with the 3 damage and the 3 mortal wounds.
That's really good, actually.
It's like the Squigosaur Jaw. When you get a 6 to wound, it does, I think, 4. No, I think it might be the White Squig that does this, but it does 4 mortal wounds on a 6 to wound instead of 3 damage.
Oh, this one's good. I can't pronounce it, but I'll give it a go. Skull of the Cactodominus, or Cacodominus. While an enemy Psyker is within 12 of the model, you subtract 1 from psychic tests taken for that unit. And while a Psyker unit is within 12, each time a psychic test is taken, it suffers perils on a dice roll that includes a double instead of only a double 1 or double 6.
Okay.
Yeah, and then once per battle, at the start of your opponent's psychic phase, you can raise this skull, and if it does, until the end of the phase, the bearer has the following ability. While an enemy psychic unit is within 18, you subtract 1 from psychic tests made for that unit. I think that's really good. If you take a chaplain, again, another reason to take a chaplain, but if you take a chaplain, for each infantry or biker unit from your army, you can select 1 upgrade from the list below to give that unit.
Infantry or biker.
Okay. And each upgrade in your army must be unique, and once selected, that upgrade must be allocated to 1 model in the unit.
Does that exclude characters?
Yeah, so this is not for characters.
Oh, okay.
This is called Relic Bearers. So the relics we've just talked about there are for characters.
Okay. Oh, so these are like...
But these are relics for your units.
Okay.
So you could take some cool relics on your characters.
Which you're going to... On your sergeants.
Yeah, but then you can give relics to, like, your infantry.
Yeah, you'd definitely give them your sergeant though, wouldn't you? Like, normally if it's a weapon, you definitely give them your sergeant, gets more attacks, etc.
Yeah, and these cost points. Most of them are just 10. 3 that are 15. 1 that's 20. Sigismund's Seal is the expensive one, which is really nice. You select 1 enemy unit that's on the battlefield, and until the end of the battle, each time a melee attack is made by this model's unit against that enemy, you can reroll the hit roll, and you can reroll the wound roll.
So it affects your unit as well for against that. Obviously, it's a specific one. But.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got like say you've got like a Assault Terminators, or you've got Vanguard Vets or Bladeguard, and you're like, right, that's my main elite squad for taking out, say you're playing against Necrons like Lich Guard or...
Yeah. Well, it's good for, like, say you made a unit specifically to do one job.
Yeah, to take out your enemy's best.
But here's the thing, if you already knew it was going to do that job really well, you could have it for, you think, right, this unit's weak against that unit, you could have it for against that one. Like, say, like you said with Termies, they'd struggle against, like, 30 cultists, for example. So you could think, all right, I'll take it for that because I need every hit and every wound that I can.
Yeah. Couple more. You've got a Power Fist.
Yeah. Oh, is that no minus and...
Yeah, no minus to your hit, and it's a Power Fist.
It does...
But 3 damage.
A minus... 3 damage, yeah. And it still keeps its minus 3 AP.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, this one's good again. For against Psychers, Light of the Emperor's Grace. +1 leadership to the unit. While an enemy Psyche unit is within 12, you subtract 1 from psychic tests.
What's the range?
12.
12, okay.
I mean, again, you know, there's loads of little things that are just anti-psyker in this book. It's so cool.
Well, psycho witch hunters, aren't they?
I really like this one. This one's only 10 points. Model with a Prior Blaster or Flamer, and the Prior Blaster is the new Flamer for Black Templars. So it's the same stats as a Prior Blaster, and it gains Strength 6 -2 AP instead of -1.
Nice.
It gains Blast. So I mean, turn 2, that's -3.
Well, that's the Flamer for the Primaris that they have. The minus 1 AP Flamer.
They have the Prior Blaster is Assault D6, Strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage. Whereas this one is Strength 6, -2 AP.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, against Orcs or Death Guard.
Well, -1's good against Orcs anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
But -2's
but
good.
that's Strength 6.
Yeah, you're just like copying Thousand Suns there with your flamer there.
Bones of Mordred. Each time this model makes a melee attack, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage. Holy Orb, I quite like this one. I don't think you were too sure on this one, but
I'm not too sure on many of them, mate. I've only heard them.
Once per battle in your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 6.
Yep.
Roll a d6, and on a 2, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Until the end of the turn, that unit is not eligible to fight until after all eligible units from your army have done so. I mean, if you're about to charge a unit, I think it's really good because it stops the counter-offensive, doesn't it?
It's good in... Yeah, it does stop that. But, I mean, if you're just charging with one unit, it's pointless because your one unit is going to fight before it regardless when you've charged it.
But if you've got a couple and you need to kill it...
Yeah. It does say you use it in your shooting phase, so it's limited in that phase. You can't use it in your opponent's shooting phase. However, it's not a shooting attack, so you can use it in your shooting phase while you're in combat with something. And let's say you're in combat with something on your turn, and it was just them 2 units in combat. Your opponent would go before you.
Yeah.
That would help you to upset the order. You just use that power while in combat with them in your shooting phase, and it'll make them go after you.
Yeah.
So that would help save your unit.
And then the other 2, the Crux, Obsidian.
I just realised as well. What does it do again? Like, read it again. That
the Orb.
Yeah.
It does d3 mortal wounds on a 2+.
Yeah. And what about the slowing down?
Until the end of the turn, the unit is not eligible to fight until after all eligible units from your army have done so.
Right. Here's the thing as well. You don't have to pick a unit. You can pick a unit that's in combat with something else. So let's say you've got a unit that needs saving.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You just throw it at that while it's in combat with with one of your other units, because it's not a shooting attack. You just pick a unit so it could save another unit.
I think you could be quite tactical with that.
Yeah. If you know your stuff, you can use that to your advantage.
So the other 2, Icon of Hymen. Each time an attack with an armor penetration of -1 or -2 is allocated to this model, that attack has an armor penetration characteristic of 0 instead.
What?
So you can make your sergeant if a -1...
A Terminator sergeant you could do that with.
Yeah.
It'd be good on a Gravis captain or something.
I prefer this one, the Crux of Obsidian. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. To a minimum of 1.
I'd put that on a Gravis sergeant. Or...
That'd be good on a Terminator.
Yeah.
Both would.
Both of them would.
That'd be good with a Storm Shield.
I love the Storm Shields.
Right. So, there's a lot of relics there, and I'm just going to give you a couple of quick fire combos, and then we'll get into top 5
Which ones did you like? Because you told me them, and they went over my head. And I need
to
hear them again. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the new units that they did get was the Crusader Squad. Obviously, we've had a Crusader Squad for Firstborn for a long time, but they've made a Primaris version. So Primaris Crusader Squad is the new unit, really. I mean, they've got Sword Brethren coming out as well, but I think this is the unit you'd take out of this book if you're going to run one of their unique units. It's a complete update from the original kit. Yeah. And it brings sort of a scout-type Primaris unit to the table,
Yeah. Didn't they say, though, when Warhammer community, this is not a scout? Or
something like that, yeah. But they look really good. You have to take a 10-man squad.
Oh, you have to take a 10-man squad?
You have to take a 10-man squad. And it has to be 5 initiates, 4 neophytes, and 1 sword brother. What's cool about these, right, and this is why I like them, is you can give them mixed loadout, and you either give them assault weapons or chainsaws and bolt pistols.
Yeah.
So you can either make these into auto bolt rifle intercessors, assault intercessors, and the neophytes can either be like an assault intercessor or they can be like a Reaver with a bolt carbine, because their bolt carbines are the same ones the Reavers take. So the bolt carbine is assault 2, 24 inches, and the auto bolt rifle is assault 3.
I think if you ignore their 4+ save, if you're going first with stuff, like say they get into combat, their 4+ save is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You're just going to attack. They've got the offensive output of a Space Marine.
And you can take the Prior Blaster, which is the new flamer the Black Templars get. And the Sword Brother can take a mix. It can either take Power Swords, Power Fists, Power Axe. I mean, this would be a cool person to put on that really cool Power Fist, actually.
Yeah.
You know that, I mean, I don't know if that's...
I'd put it on a Vanguard Vet, me. How many attacks has he got?
The Sword Brother has 3 attacks. So
we'd have 4 on the charge
Normal
with that Power Fist.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hitting on a 3.
Tasty.
And you could, you know, if you've got a chaplain nearby or captain.
Or just to have a chaplain on the board. You need to have a chaplain.
Why I like these and why I take them is they've got a really nice stratagem.
And nice new models.
Yeah, the models look cool. I really like them because they kind of fit in with the Indomitus aesthetic.
Yeah, I get that.
So the stratagem that I think combines really well with them, and I think this combines well with normal intercessors, assault intercessors, blade guard, lots of things, is the Emperor's Will. So you use this stratagem in your shooting phase. You select one Black Templars infantry unit from your army that has advanced this turn. Until the end of the phase, that unit is eligible to shoot with, but you can only make attacks using pistol, rapid fire, or assault weapons when you select that unit to shoot with. Models from that unit do not suffer the penalty incurred to their hit rolls for firing assault weapons. So for 1 CP, you've got a mix...
It's 1 CP as well.
Yeah, you've got a 10-man unit there that's got a mixed bag of assault 3, assault 2, pistols that are 18 inches on the intercessors.
That's been improved. That was pistols last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just pistols last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have this in the last...
Does it say what type of unit it has to be?
No, it's just a Black Templars infantry unit. So, you know, this would work on normal intercessors with auto bolt rifles.
Oh, it says infantry unit.
It would work on normal intercessors with their rapid fire bolt weapons, man.
Like
it'd work on your pistol assault intercessors.
It could make your aggressors a bit speedy.
Yep.
If you had aggressors, you could run them up and then do that.
I think there's a lot that... I mean, it probably work... Would it work on Centaurians?
You could do it on your Termies.
Would it work on Centaurians?
Yeah, it'd work on Centaurians, yeah, because they're infantry. Like, if you really need to get... Like, it make your slow units a little bit faster.
Yeah.
That stratagem.
But I like that on the Crusader Squad as well, because, I mean, you've got mixed weapons there. And, you know, you'd look at a Crusader Squad and you'd probably think, should I take assault weapons or should I just take, like, all combat? And I think I'd take a mix, you know.
It can make your Inceptors faster, because they've got infantry, I think. Yeah, they've got infantry.
Another stratagem that's really good for this kind of, you know, like a sword brother or any kind of sergeant is you can use this stratagem for the battle. This is revered repositories. What this stratagem does is it allows you, even though it's not a character, to take one of the relics, which are a choice of Witch Seeker Bolts, Sword of Judgment, the one I didn't like pronouncing before, the skull one, Mastercrafted weapon, digital weapons. But each relic in your army must be unique, and you cannot use this stratagem to give a model 2 relics. And you can only use it once. So you can give, like, your sergeant one of the more beefy swords, the Witch Seeker Bolts.
Yeah.
You know, you can take relics on your, you know, characters.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you can take another relic.
On your squad leaders. Anything for advancing or charging?
No. I mean, Devout Push... I feel like it was a bit weirdly worded last time they had this one, and it still looks good. I just don't think it's the sort of stratagem you're going to do every time.
Let me take a look at it.
So you select a core or character unit.
Okay. If
that unit is not within engagement range of an enemy unit,
okay,
make a normal move of up to 3 inches for this unit. Must end this move either closer to the closest enemy unit, closer to the closest objective marker. If that unit is within engagement range of any enemy units, make a piling move with that unit.
When does that happen?
At the start of the fight phase. So each turn you could maybe use a unit and it can make an additional 3 inches kind of just to push up, and then if it's near enemies it can kind of pile in, but it won't be able to attack them that turn, will it? It'll have to
no, I don't think so.
Wait until the next turn to attack back.
I don't get that.
I feel like it's there to kind of, you know, you've just advanced a unit and it's like, well, we're going to move another 3 inches.
Which fight phase is that? Is it any fight phase or the fight phase?
At the start of the fight phase.
All right, so you can do it in your opponent's turn.
Yeah, that's.
However,
cool as well.
instead you move close to the closest enemy unit or an objective marker. That's good. You could like.
Yeah.
I can get that. The reason why is, let's say you charged and you just about reached, and let's say it was with your 10-man squad, for example, that was conga lining, right? And your front one just about reached, so he's in on his own, and you've done and you've done a massive conga line, so not everyone's going to reach on the first pile-in.
Yeah.
So you do that, you pile in, and then you select them to attack, then you pile in again. So that's a 6-inch pile-in.
Right.
So that means your whole squad could get like that's.
Oh yeah.
It can help that.
There's one to make Black Templar Astartes shotguns damage 2 instead of damage 1. Champion of the Feast. Before the battle, select one Black Templars model from your army that has the word Sergeant or Sword Brother in their profile.
I do like me some sergeants.
Add 1 to the model's attack and wounds characteristic and improve that model's weapon skill by 1.
My God, just give it that power fist. Give it that special power fist as well.
Yeah, so it's hitting on 2. It's damage 3.
Oh my God, it's a vehicle killer.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it'd kill anything, that.
It'd be unstoppable. That on a Vanguard Vet is insane.
I think where this supplement comes in, though, is more with the litanies, the warlord traits, and the relics.
So we're
and the
moving on now
stratagems.
to them.
I mean, just briefly, for anyone out there that
Briefly.
enjoys hearing about,
Certain things.
they're pretty shit.
I don't want to say the shit, but they're pretty shit.
And the first one is a copy and paste from the Blood Angel Codex.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
the
you
middle
copied it.
one is just like really cool, and then it says you have to have a Templar chaplain within range of this objective marker to score it, and it's just like that is so situational. And then the last one is really long, and it's to do with your Templar Vows. It's cool because if you kill units in the combat phase,
Oh, that one.
yeah, you score 4. But what's annoying is that you have to kill more than the enemy destroyed of your units, and it doesn't suggest that it's just for melee. It means they're shooting as well.
It's basically, you're telling me this is hard difficulty. I have to kill more units than you in melee, so it's going to take me at least a battle round to do. And
yeah,
you can kill anything in any way you like.
I mean, you can get it for a maximum of 12 points, so there's only 3
So
rounds.
it's not even worth taking then.
No. But you do get 3 points at the end of the game if you achieved an equivalent of your vow, and those are things like, you know, if you what is it, the Destroy the Witch vow, you know, like the Destroy the Witch vow, if you kill an enemy psychic character, you score 3 points at the end of the game. That's quite easy to do. I just don't think I'd bother. I think you know, there's better, easier things to score, like that Octarius data.
Oath of the moment.
Yeah, just
That's
things like that.
Easy points every time.
Engage on all fronts. You know?
Yeah.
It's so weird in Knife. You get some secondaries that are so easy to read and go, yeah, I'll take that because I can do that. And then you get some where you go, this sounds really cool. And then you read it and you go, that's incredibly hard to do. Just quickly, there's another unit that's coming out for Primaris, which is the Primaris Sword Brethren. And again, they're pretty shit, and I wouldn't bother taking them. Okay.
Rubbish.
Top 5 units.
We have top 5 units.
Yeah. So number 5 is the new Empress Champion, which is Primaris.
Just to clarify, we are not like glorified game players at this game. We just pick what we like.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you can write in the comments and insult us, please.
Pretty similar to what it was last edition, but the sword's a bit better.
It's got Primaris keyword.
So the Emperor's Champion, he's definitely better than he was. He's about 20 points more. He's got a ×2 thrusting strike now, which is -1 on his hit. 3 damage. He's got all kind of the same abilities he had, but what's cool about him now is that he doesn't have to take a designated warlord trait. He can choose from the Black Templars warlord traits. He'd take on pretty much anything and hurt it. Maybe not kill Mortarion, say, but he'd for 100 points, he's pretty good.
This is not a very popular opinion, but I like the legs.
Yeah. Moving on.
Nice and bulky.
Moving on. At number 4, we've got Bladeguard Veterans.
Yes, we do. Right, I'll get the Bladeguard up on here.
I think this is the chapter for Bladeguard. I mean, you might disagree and say it's Blood Angels
I heard
or Dark Angels.
I can't remember if at the tournament I saw people taking Bladeguard? I can't remember. I know there was a lot of Vanguard.
I think, just quickly, the reason I take Bladeguard for Black Templars, just their chapter tactics, that, you reroll your charge, but not just that.
No, that'll help them out.
Ignore 5+ on mortal wounds.
Oh, that's true. That'll help them defensively.
So, Storm Shields suffer against mortal wounds, but suddenly you've got little ability to help that.
Yeah.
Why I like him is you've got the Emperor's Will stratagem where you can advance again. You've got pistols. And you've got another stratagem that I really like the look of, which is Strength for Conviction. This is 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your command phase. Select one Black Templar's core unit from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit has the objective secured ability. That's so good on Bladeguard because they don't get that. And then suddenly, a Storm Shield, you could do it on Terminators, but a Storm Shield Bladeguard squad could have that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Sick.
There's loads of little litanies and warlord traits you could use to make them even stronger. If you've got a chaplain, Fires of Devotion would be good on them because until the fight is resolved, you could add 1 to their attacks characteristic.
Yeah.
You've got Plea of Deliverance. You can cast this on a core or character unit within 6 of the priest.
Am I still on Bladeguard?
If that unit is affected by any psychic power manifested by enemy models, the effects of those psychic powers on that unit and its models end till the start of your next command phase, and the model it contains are not affected by any psychic power manifested by the enemy unit. Okay. So you could make a Bladeguard squad like really anti-psychic ability there.
Since you're bringing in the chaplain to buff him, I'll bring in the Bladeguard Ancient. You can give
him +1. Yeah. You could use that stratagem to give it one of the main relics, like Sword of Judgment.
Yeah.
Because that replaces a mastercrafted power sword.
You know what you could do as well with the sergeant? You could have him so that they ignore AP1. I get his points on Storm Shields, but it helps though. Have it if they ignore AP1 and 2, it means he's always got a 2+ save.
Yeah. And I mean as well, that
against AP3, of course.
Relic Bearer, the Crux one where it's subtract 1 from the damage characteristic.
That'd help.
Sigismund's Seal, that'd be cool. I just think they synergize well with everything in this book, whether it's stratagems, relic bearers, characters, especially a chaplain.
And they look like they actually belong in a Black Templar list.
Yes, that counts as well. They've got the right helmets.
Nice.
Moving on.
It's
the Vanguard Veterans.
Yeah,
and
my
now,
choice.
Oh wow, you could.
I've seen like Ali was in games, and I think the 2 I saw him play. First game was against White Scars with Vanguard Vets with jump packs. Second game was also against White Scars with jump packs.
Yeah.
They just wrap it. They're just really good at the moment in the tournament. It looks
not just that. You made the point. You could take Vanguard Vets, no jump packs, right? But put them in drop pods.
Yeah, for a first turn charge if that's if that tickles your fancy.
Because you got that reroll charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter that you're 9 inches away. If I miss it on each squad, I can reroll the charge.
Just get some Assault Marines as backup in case you're worried about failing a charge. But that's what I'm talking about.
And they benefit in the exact same way that Bladeguard do.
However, they're speedier.
Yeah. The reason we put them higher is because of that.
Yeah, the speed.
And not just that, they have better access to the relics because they are not limited to having to take power swords. They can take the Storm Shield, but they can also take Lightning Claws. They could take the Power Fist. That would be a great choice for that Power Fist on a 2+.
With the Chaplain Relic stuff. What is it? The Relic Bearer. You give him that Relic Bearer Power Fist to the Sergeant. Give the Sergeant that buff. What gives him an extra
stratagem?
Is it extra attack? Yep. Extra weapon skill?
Yep. Like there's so many things you could do. You could put them in the Land Raider.
Yeah.
I think out of every unit available to Black Templars, I think Vanguard Veterans benefit the most from stratagems and relics.
Yeah.
Because they're not as limited. I mean,
I think Bladeguard are better for holding an objective than they are because you can at least use transhuman physiology on them. That stratagem.
Yeah. For me, if I went to a tournament of Black Templars, I would max out Vanguard Vets and Bladeguard.
Yeah.
They would be my elite choices.
Nice.
Really, really strong. Really strong. Number 2 is
the Grimaldus model.
The new mighty powerful Grimaldus.
And / we decided to just have him or Chaplain because we feel that a chaplain is pretty much an auto, like...
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's an auto take, second.
He is like the high chaplain of the Templars. I think you have to take a chaplain in a Templar list.
If you're going to take him, you take a chaplain because you get the best out of the
I'd take Grimaldus and a chaplain, actually. I think there's no reason to not take 2 chaplains in a Templar list.
Can you give a jump pack to a chaplain?
You can to the non-Primaris.
Ooh.
Or you take the chaplain on bike.
Yeah.
So Grimaldus, right, he's quite expensive.
How much points is he?
He's about 140.
But I mean, he's got like 4 models. He's got like a lot of wounds. He's technically got a lot of wounds.
Yeah, he's technically got 8 wounds.
Not necessarily, because each servitor is 1 model. He got hit by a las cannon. You just take off his servitor no matter what the damage is.
Or a melter gun.
And it just takes like 1 wound off.
He's really cool model.
Yeah, defo.
So I think with Grimaldus, Grimaldus' servitors take some cool relics. There's 3.
They're flipping amazing, they're relics.
Yeah, there's a banner which, when a character or core unit is within 6.
So including himself.
Yep. Each advance roll is D3 plus 3.
Fuck off.
Minimum advance is 4.
I didn't think it was... I forgot what it was like. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
And imagine that with the shooting one.
Yeah.
What the flip?
So that means Grimaldus, when he advances, is moving 10.
Or your Terminators are moving 9 minimum.
Imagine that on Vanguard Vets to start off.
Oh, well, your Bladeguard, mate.
Okay, there's
Rapido.
another relic, the Remnant of the Fallen Temple. Each time a model in a unit that was within 6 would lose a wound. On a D6, on a 6+, the wound's not lost.
Yeah, basically 6+ fill.
That's the relic I'd take off first, to be honest. Okay, Spectre of Anointing is the final relic. Each time a roll is made to determine if a litany recited by Grimaldus is inspiring, you add 1 to that.
Nice, that's really good.
I think that's the best one, actually.
Yeah. And what is these litanies again? Does it say what litanies you can pick from? Could he pick from the Space Marine ones?
Oh, yeah. It says he knows Litany of Hate from Codex Space Marines, and then 2 other litanies from the Devout.
Oh, so he doesn't know from litanies of battle.
He can attempt to deny 1 psychic power.
He can deny as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't take the relic that's the additional D6, but he can use that stratagem to give him another one to cast. So you can easily cast 3 a turn.
Yeah, or that one if he gets out for transport, which would be a repulsor.
Yeah.
Or an impulsor.
What I like about him is his warlord trait. So he can deny, but also he takes the epitome of piety. In your opponent's psychic phase, this warlord can attempt to deny 1 psychic power as if it were psychic.
What the hell? So he denies twice?
Yep.
If he's your warlord, I mean.
And he adds 1 to deny the witch tests.
So he can deny twice and get +1 to both tests.
And you can use that stratagem where you just, on a 4+, you just stop a psychic test. And then you've got the relics that make psychic tests harder to cast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he's got that and then you've got that relic on another chaplain.
Though I feel like if you're making Black Templars to be solely witch hunters, you're kind of not playing them right.
Yeah, but I think if you're playing a mate who's got 1,000 sons,
yeah, it helps as a support against
Cam's going to hate me, you know?
Yeah, it makes him a little bit struggling to get his powers.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Did Stop Grey Knights better because
they got so much that's just like anti-psychic.
Yeah, but Grey Knights are built to deny. We deny as well.
Yeah.
So you'd be better at stopping Grey Knight powers than 1,000 Suns. We don't have. I'll tell you this.
That's true. Yeah.
Grey Knights don't have a lot that helps buff their casting ability. I think they've got one like what I'm talking about Grey Knights anyway. You get me off on one.
Gene Stealers as well, man. Like
or Tyranids or Eldar.
Yeah. There's some really cool stuff there. But just talking about the litanies, we talked about Fires of Devotion that gives an additional attack. We talked about Plea of Deliverance, which affects psychic units from casting on your unit. There's one that gives a unit, when it loses a wound, on a 5+, the wound's not lost. That's good. This one's nice as well. Fervent Acclamation. If it's inspiring, select 1 Templar Vow that is not in effect, and select 1 friendly core or character unit within 6, and you gain the effect of that vow.
Nice. What? You just get the effect of the vow?
So you'd have 2 vows activated, wouldn't you?
What the flip?
So that's a nice one. You can cast this on the chaplain themselves. Crozius or Artificer Corrosive or the relic that replaces one of these. Unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 2 additional hits, and you add 1 to the strength characteristic of the priest. And it can fight first that phase. That'd be good on Grimaldus. The second one, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack. This can only go on a core unit, actually. But each time you make a melee attack, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any normal damage.
Yeah.
A unit can suffer a maximum of 6 mortal wounds per phase as a result of this ability. Imagine that on Bladeguard.
You do love you some Bladeguard.
So yeah, I think he's just a bit of an auto take, and I think chaplains in general, man, are just really strong. Okay, moving on to the last character that we're going to talk about. It's the chapter master himself, Helbrecht. He is a beast now, absolute beast. I think captains for Templars are good anyway, but I mean, he's got a combi bolter that is D6 plus 2 damage. Doesn't have to be within 6 inches of it. Just does it. He's got pretty standard chapter master stats like Calgar.
Yeah.
6 attacks, and he can do 2 types for his sword. He can either do one-handed plus 2, minus 3, 1 damage. But each time you make an attack, you make 2 hit rolls instead of 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with Shock Assault, that would clearly give you either 13 or 14 attacks there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
For that. That's mad. Well, there's two-handed where it's times 2, minus 3, 3 damage. So that's that Power Fist again. So you can have that Power Fist twice.
And he has the usual reroll ones.
Yeah, chapter master abilities, and he gives friendly Black Templar core units within 6 plus 1 to their strength.
Nice.
And everything else is just a standard chapter master. So
he's got 8 wounds, hasn't he?
Yes. He's got a really good warlord trait.
Oh yeah,
well.
you told me about this. I'm like, what? The only downside is it kind of upsets, like, I don't know if it's a downside. Just like everyone has a certain way of charging stuff. They always charge with the stuff they want to take the shots, and then charge with the good stuff.
Okay. Frontline commander. Add 1 to the advance and charge rolls made for this warlord. Each time a friendly Black Templar's core unit declares a charge against an enemy unit that is within engagement range of this warlord, add 1 to the charge roll made for that unit. If he's already in combat, any models charging that unit with him gets +1.
Nice.
So really yeah, I just think he's an auto take. I think he's the best model in the book. I like captains in general in this book. Just talking a little bit more about the warlord traits, they're all pretty good. I mean, they're kind of edited from what they already had. You know, you get Master of Arms that can fight first if it's in engagement range, and you add 1 to the warlord's attacks.
Yeah.
Characteristic. Paragon of Fury, add 1 to the strength. If you finish a charge roll on a d6, a 5+ enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. And then the last one, which is okay, is Inspirational Fighter, which is an aura. On an unmodified wound roll of a 6, improve the arm penetration of that characteristic by 1.
What was the one that was?
And this is cumulative with the bonus from the Assault Doctrine if it's active for your army. So that's kind of just that stratagem in it again.
Yeah.
Right? I think Paragon of Fury and Master of Arms, Frontline Commander, really strong. So yeah, and there's a stratagem where you can give a captain 2 warlord traits instead of 1. So I'd probably give it that +1 attack and +1 strength.
Yeah, I'm guessing 1 has to be from that book.
Oh, they both have to be from the book.
Did they both have to be from there?
I think so. Nominate a Black Templar's character.
Yep.
To be your warlord. Generate 1 additional warlord trait for them that must be from the Black Templar's warlord traits table. I mean, Rites of Battle is a really strong warlord trait in the
Oh, I don't think there is. I think this
Space Marine Codex.
This one is pick another character to have a warlord trait.
Yeah, but you could give that to your
someone else,
couldn't you?
Yeah.
So I think, just wrapping up, I think Templars have got some really strong stuff, but I don't think they're a game changer. I don't think it's as strong as the Thousand Suns Codex that came out. I think it's one of the only armies now in the game that's kind of designed to stop Psychic in a really cool way. I mean, as in, like, for a non-Psychic army, I mean, it's got some really cool traits.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, you've got not a single Psyker, so I'll give you that.
I like that it's really different from Codex Space Marines.
It's definitely the time to get them, because now that, like, every successor or whatnot can take from the Space Marine Codex as well. That's just getting all that stuff in addition to what's in there. And there's everything in there. So I don't know what they couldn't take last time. It's like with Space Wolves in it, they couldn't take certain things. Now they can take everything.
Yeah, and I think a final point I want to make is that, well, actually, I keep thinking back to Sword Brethren because I did say they were shit, but one cool little thing they've got is that they ignore passions in vows. So
that's sick.
Yeah, that Primaris Sword Brethren squad, they just take the vow, they don't take the passion as well. It's just little things like that. There's a load of little things that interlink nicely in this book.
Yeah.
But just as a final point, Templars, before 5th edition were always a separate book to Space Marines, like Blood Angels, like Space Wolves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like Dark Angels, they have their own book.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't know that.
And then as 6th edition came in, and especially when 7th came in, they didn't get it anymore. They didn't get their own codex. They were a part of the Space Marine Codex. And obviously when 9th came with the Space Marine Codex, all of them moved in. But now it feels like with this book, Black Templars have taken a step away from the Codex, and they allow you to make a really kind of its own thing. And as well, I think they really suit the Primaris stuff. I think you could make a really cool Primaris Black Templar list and not take any Firstborn stuff and have a really powerful army, unlike Blood Angels, where I feel you want to take Sanguine Guard, you want to take Death Company with jump packs. I mean, other than Vanguard Vets, there aren't, and maybe Centaurians, there aren't many from Codex Space Marines Firstborn stuff I would say you have to take that.
I think that's very bold of you to say the Primaris stuff suit them, because a lot of the lore-loving power gamers are going to be like screaming at the screen after hearing that, and then going to Games Workshop and buying Primaris for their army. So
yeah, but what's cool as well is that like they've, other than maybe Ultramarines, they've got so many Primaris units now.
Yeah,
for characters, they've got the 3 named characters. Then they've got a Primaris captain.
And then they can take everything in there.
They've got a Primaris lieutenant that's Black Templars.
They've got all sorts in the Space Marine.
Yeah, they've got
Bladeguard lieutenant, regular lieutenant, Phobos lieutenant.
I mean, I'm slating the Sword Brethren, but they look great as Primaris.
Yeah,
you know.
What about Reavers? Would you take Reavers for Black Templars?
I wouldn't actually, just because I think there's so many other options that you could take.
But they do have like lower morale.
I think for me, some of the best units for Black Templars are the Crusader Squad, Bladeguard. This is Primaris only. The Redemptor Dreadnought.
Everyone Dreads are like in right now, aren't they, as well?
I just think there's loads there.
I think you should get Black Templars, mate.
Yeah, well, I bought the edition box, and then all my leftover Indomitus.
Why aren't you collecting Black Templars?
I'm trying to, but I mean, you keep putting Star Wars stuff on. So. Good. All right. Well, great to chat then.
Yeah. Took longer than expected.
Yep.
I did all my research. You didn't. So
next time we'll probably look at. I think this is the last Codex we're going to get. This. No, we're getting 2 in.
We're getting some other stuff. There was that Octarius.
Yeah.
Tyrannid one that came out.
Maybe we'll chat about that next time.
Another campaign book.
Glorious campaign books are back.
I love campaign books, mate.
Yeah, it's been great to chat, Ben.
Yeah,
and I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.